everybody. I'm here today with Chris Caddell, who plays in Big Wreck. You're here in town today playing with Colin James, and we're doing a weird version of Gear and Beer where there's no live stream, but we're just hanging out, having beers, and cheers, man.
Cheers.
Nice.
That's where that comes from. Cheers.
Yeah.
So each person's beverage would mix into the other to prove that you're not trying to poison the person.
Nice.
Internet. The internet told me that.
Oh man, everything that's on the internet is correct.
Absolutely.
Like, I've never read anything that's not right. If it's on the internet, because why would you bother putting something up there if it's not true?
Yeah, why would somebody lie? Why would somebody just lie about something like that?
That's dumb. Like, anyway, like I said, we first met when you were in Morden, Manitoba. Yeah, like a month and a bit ago, probably.
I think so.
Yeah, playing with Big Wreck, and yeah, you guys were kind enough to invite me out to hang out, and you'd gotten one of the tilt pedals to mess with a little bit, and it's cool to see that you've got it on your board.
Yeah, I had to do it right away. I did a little it's called Guitars for Vets clinic thing, and it's all veterans, and they donate guitars to them and stuff. So went to just kind of do the thing. I only brought that and the Revv as well, the G4.
Okay.
And I was like, this is awesome. I just plugged into a deluxe, so I'm like, I got to put this in the board like right away. So I made room. I redid this before the tour just to fit that in.
Awesome. Well, because it's Gear and Beer, let's talk a bit about your board, because one of the things that I'm fascinated with on your board is that I never got into diamond pedals at all.
Oh, really?
And we just had this dude Logan who works for a brewery here in town. He's a fiddle player and a great guitar player, and he had his board, and he had a different smaller diamond delay pedal. And honestly, since then, he had that and he had a comp. And man, they sounded so good. I've been spending way too much time on Kijiji and Reverb being like, where can I find these? And you can't for like any reasonable amount of money. Like everything is crazy expensive now because
I have two. I have another memory lane 2 and the first generation memory lane, just straight up memory lane.
Nice.
Just in a box in my storage.
Nice.
But I love them. I find they're the truest sort of delay. Like the delay sound is, it just sounds like, sometimes they get kind of digitally. I had what's that one? The H9, is that?
Oh yeah, the H9. Yeah.
I just couldn't figure it out. I don't know. I just didn't love it.
I love you so much right now, Chris.
I just always go back to this, and I tried to replace it, and I love the Line 6 stuff. I just didn't have room to put the HX effects in this, but
right.
I don't really need a whole lot of crazy sounds. So.
This is this is the board that I've been using recently. I normally have a Timeline and the Big Sky and the Mobius, and I literally have one patch on each that I use. And I had the H9 because I had somebody build a board for me years ago, and they're like, oh, you should put an H9 on it. And I had a dealer that we were doing trades on stuff with, so they're like, I'll give you an H9 you can put on your board. And it's the same thing with the H9. I only used one patch, and it's this shimmer patch, which is more of a Verb, right? Like it's not I don't even use it for a delay or any of the other stuff. And we've been doing this series on Gear and Beer for anybody who watches it on our live stream on Wednesdays, where Sam, who's normally with me, and I are building new boards, and we've been kind of auditioning, just tons of pedals to check out, to see what we want to put permanently on boards. And I finally got the app for the H9.
Oh, yeah.
And as soon as I got the app on my phone and tried it, I was like, oh, now I understand how this works. And because prior to that, I was like, I can't figure out this hot knob because I'm stupid. I don't.
I've ran into the same stuff. And then when you hit it, you kind of, if you tap it with your foot, it's like,
yeah, something's wrong. And I'm probably similar to you that I really like knobs that I can turn. Like my favorite analog style delay is the carbon copy, just because I can easily turn it on and it takes me no time to dial in. I want just a slap back for when I'm playing leads, and that's all I really need.
Yeah, I have to have the tap tempo. That's absolutely important for me. I really like the MXR. Is it MXR that does that delay? Maybe it's not MXR. Dunlop. The Echoplex. Deluxe.
Right. Yes.
The little mini one. That
Yep.
sounded pretty good too, but
Yep.
I just always go back to the Diamond. I think I've had one in my board for
It's just
like since 2005.
nice.
I just always go back to it.
I find it hilarious that the last two guests that we've had in have diamond stuff, and I own none of it, and now I know I'm gonna spend a bunch of money.
I love
don't
the
need
comp
to.
too, but I don't really have much of a need for comp right
With our board build thing that we're doing, we've gone through and done like started with drives and identifying like, okay, what styles of drives do each of us like? Like, you know, I prefer more like Klon or Timmy style drives than Tube Screamers or or Blues Breaker style stuff.
Yeah.
So we went through and did that, and then we did compressors. And when we did compressors, I told Sam, I'm like, dude, I have never successfully got a compressor to sound better when I'm using it than if I had it off. So I've just always shied away from them. Mm-hmm. And I mean, he does a lot of the like modern metal stuff, like, you know, intervals, like Aaron Marshall. No? Okay. Anyway, a lot of the like modern metal stuff where they'll do like really nice clean parts, but there's a lot of compression on it, and that it needs to be like pretty snappy and spanky. Mm-hmm. So I get it for the way that he plays, of, you know, or, you know, the country dudes that are using it when they're doing kind of chicken picking stuff. But I can't play like that, so it doesn't matter. So
in my other board, there's a few comps in the HX effects that I really like.
Nice.
The LA Studio, I think, is one that's
killer.
Really cool.
Sweet. So, all right. So take me through your board and like what you kind of use for each different sound.
Well, just straight into the wah here.
Yep.
The Union is next.
Okay.
And I use that mostly for switching between guitars. So the Les Paul, I'll have it off and plug in a Strat. And
Gotcha.
Just it evens out the volume and stuff. I really love it with Strats because it really opens it up. It feels like bigger and fatter. Yeah, more.
Yep. Nice.
Yeah. So that's basically that, and then just different stages of gain. Really, like this Road Rage thing is great because Strats and noises and stuff like that.
Yep.
It kind of eliminates it. So if the pedal's not on, it's not.
Gotcha.
You're not going through it, and it's you save the pedal too. You're not stepping on.
Right.
And also try to get
you don't have to tap dance.
You hit all of a sudden you hit the gain and
and you goose everything.
Yeah,
or you turn it off and make it worse.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I've always had like the heavier distortions and stuff first.
Okay.
I always find that I'd rather warm up a distortion than have it kind of brighten things up.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like if the tilt there. I'll add that for just a little extra, you know what I mean? That's kind of the same throughout. So everything kind of, a lot of times I'll run everything through this 808, basically. It's basically an 808 Retrosonic, another Canadian company.
Nice.
Oh, no!
Ah, you're fine.
They'll never invite me back.
It's not the first or the last time that's happened, so...
So I kind of use that as because where I'm always flying into shows and I need basically just a clean amp to plug into.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of times you can't get away with being wicked loud.
Yeah.
So I set that up just basically.
Nice.
But if I want it to bark, it will.
Nice.
So that pedal is kind of like, that's my amp.
Sweet.
You know what I mean? So it's in front of it, the Klon, the fake thing or whatever. Just a little bit extra, not too much. And then, I've been using this. It's been my lead tone for the last little while. And then, if I want to... just different stages of overdrive, It's like medium, a little heavier, really heavy.
Nice. So which one is? So is the distortion the really heavy one for you, or the overdrive? Oh, that's how you have
this.
it.
This
okay.
This is the heavy, the distortion.
Yep.
Right here. At the
end. And that's why you've got it labeled H for heavy.
Yeah.
Nice.
Obi-Wan is the till.
Nice.
For Star Wars fans out there.
Yeah.
K for Klon. J is the juice. It's my clean boost.
Okay.
So that's my boost. So.
Nice.
I just find that one seems to translate well. It doesn't really break.
Yeah, it's nice and transparent, and it, yeah.
I would use the tilt boost, but it's a little far over here.
Right.
And I'd have to step on.
Yeah, and then you're gonna knock the mix on your. Yeah, I was gonna say
beer's spilling.
all the fun problems that you have while you're playing live, trying to tap dance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have an RJM Mastermind MIDI controller right now, and I know we're getting the Gig-Rig G3 controllers for the new boards that we're building, and I'm excited because I've never gone down that road, and Joey Landreth was the one who first showed me the Gig-Rig. He's like, you got to get into this, and I'm like, I'm not good at that kind of stuff at all. I'm like, somebody would have to program it for me. He's like,
oh, it's so dead simple, it's crazy.
Yeah, and
I have that on my other board. My big rec board is just a little different.
Nice
amp switching and stuff like that. But.
Nice. So you have different boards that you use for different gigs and different things.
Yeah, this is kind of my Colin and Sass, my cover band Horseshack sort of. It's kind of my Swiss Army knife. I can kind of get anything out of this, but when it comes to big rec, it's like you got to use amp distortions.
Yeah.
And it has to be like I had a similar one with this, but the G2 just saved me for that because it's one stop shop. Here's my heavy sound. Here's a clean with delay that I can just step on instead of
doing the tap dance.
In between songs. There's there's a ton of that. Playing something and then you got to switch pickups, get to dead clean with delays, and then that's got to cut off to do super heavy chorus or whatever. You know what I mean?
I was pretty amazed, watching you guys in September there, or August, whenever it was, watching how much even Ian was still kind of tap dancing back and forth, the amount of pedal changes that he did. Does he have a switcher as well?
Yeah.
The fact that he's doing that while he's still singing and it's unbelievable. I'm like, I'd be lost. I'd be like, which thing am I supposed to do now?
Well, that's the thing about the G2 is that takes a lot of the guesswork out.
Awesome.
But it's also kind of all the on the HX effects is specific delays that are timed exactly for the song and little things to program in and stuff. But
awesome.
The G2 saved me big time. I love
nice.
That thing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Sean just got the Gig-Rig G3 and had just built his board finally after he had gone years, pretty much since he finished his run with Carrie Underwood. He hasn't really had a board since then. And I mean, he kept sending me clips. He was like, dude, this is so much easier now than what it's been for the last few years of let me grab that pedal and plug it in.
They're dead simple to use too.
Awesome. So go and buy yourself the Gig-Rig G3 or G2 if you can get one.
Yeah, big time.
They're good dudes.
Yeah.
Daniel from that pedal show. And get you some of that.
Great idea.
Yeah, man, your rig sounds great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes,
I like it.
Yeah, that's basically it. And then the delay, and then I pretty much always keep the Flint reverb on.
Yep.
Just because it sounds great, and I usually plug into Basements. That's kind of my go-to.
Yep.
Backline because everybody's got it.
Yep.
Super clean and loud. And another thing, my friend Dan, he put the volume pedal at the end of the board.
Okay.
So that it's not because your tone gets affected.
Yeah.
When it's the guitar, right?
Yeah.
So I just want it to be.
You just want to cut volume.
But cut volume. Yeah. A lot of times I'll get the amp to somewhere and then just kind of get this to where I can get away with it.
Nice.
then I don't have to go back to the amp if I need a little extra.
Nice.
Or
Yeah,
less.
smart.
So that's it. Simple, effective.
Oh, it sounds great, which is the most important thing. I have a bunch of the Strymon stuff. I never bought the Flint because I never really used standalone reverb pedals very often. I'd always just, if I was playing a Fender amp, chances are it had reverb, so I used it. And I just got one, and I haven't actually started playing with it yet.
Yeah.
So it's kind of one of the
great.
next things I got to mess with, because Sean kept telling me, because all my gear choices I make now are wait till hey Sean, what are you using? Like, yeah, everything you touch sounds amazing, and then I get it and I'm like, it sounds not as amazing. So it's weird.
Well, it's pretty simple sort of thing. Like I just most of the time all of them are just 10 o'clock, and it's just
nice. Yep. Well,
that's what I want in my review. Sort of. Just nice subtle tremolo.
Yeah, I dig it.
Toys.
I always call Pedal's guitar player candy. Like, I've got lots of them to mess around with, and they all do something different. And even if they have like things that overlap, you find that like like that. The Diamond Memory Lane is going to sound different than the Timeline is going to sound different than the H9 or the Carbon Copy or whatever. And even if they have the same type of features, they'll just have this different tonality to them, I find, even when they're time-based effects, right? That you wouldn't think it's going to color a lot. So I just, I'm fortunate that we have lots of fun pieces of gear that we get to play with. And,
exactly.
It's tons of fun.
Everywhere. There's a Flint right there.
Yeah. That's the one. Yeah, I just got it, and they like took it out of the box. I haven't even plugged it in yet. You haven't
even rocked it yet.
No. That's how it goes here most of the time, is that I get something new, and about 3 months after I get it, I'm like, hey, let's hook that up so I can give it a whirl. And
it's like downloading albums on Spotify or anything. It's like, I'll download that. And never listen to it.
And then I listen to Guns N' Roses anyway.
Yeah. I'm on Dire Straits for the millionth time.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, hey man, thanks so much for joining us today and for showing us your board. This was
thanks for having me.
It's killer.
This is great. I'm loving the tilt. Love it. It was just like, I was like, just for the Les Paul, and then every time I plug the Strat, I'm like, oh, what's it gonna be like? Just leave it on.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
appreciate it.
Thank you guys for joining us today and for hanging out with us. And check out Chris Caddell. You want to? You had a little variety show you were doing on your YouTube channel.
Caddell show on Tuesday. It was just a fun little stupid show that we did, and it's on YouTube. If you want to check it out.
Go find Chris and go see Colin James, Big Wreck. I mean, go see Big Wreck if you've never seen Big Wreck. Go see Colin James as well. But if you haven't seen them and haven't seen Chris play, get your ass out there and get it done. All right, cheers everyone.